Hi, welcome back to another episode of Nerd Talk. I am Matt, or Nerditude, or whatever you want to call me. I'm here again talking about the things that I care about just a little bit with you. Thank you guys for watching. First thing I want to talk about, WWE 2K22 has officially released. Here's the thing, and I'm going to go cover this from the beginning. The $100 Deluxe Edition that comes with all the DLC, awesome, no problem. The 3 days early, bullshit. Servers weren't right. The game was still buggy. We didn't even get the day one patch until the 11th. The community creations weren't working properly. It was annoying. If you bought that $100 Deluxe Edition just to get that 3 days early, I'm sorry. I feel bad for you because it really wasn't worth it. I was one of those suckers. Didn't really get a chance to play it online at all within those first 3 days, and played a little bit of the My Rise. Now they did patch it, and some of the bugs they fixed and everything. And overall, the game's great. I am really enjoying it. Finally, we've got another wrestling game after WWE 2K20's debacle of a release. I was one of those people that bought it. I was one of those disappointed parties, but I still played it. I enjoyed it. This one, I'm digging. Graphically, the entrances with the camera angles are some of the best I've seen. Performance on PC, which is what I have so far, is pretty good. I haven't noticed any major slowdowns or anything like that. One big issue on the PC side is from the technical perspective is there's not many options to change graphics, not even in the configuration files. So it's also seemingly the texture resolution is tied directly to the actual resolution. So if you're a 1080p gamer, you may be looking at medium textures as opposed to high or whatever. I don't know if there's an ultra setting for 4K. They really haven't talked about it. It's something I hope they get fixed because I would like a little bit more fine-tunage in my graphics, and a modern title especially. It seems to be, as of right now, a fairly lazy port, but a competent one. It is running. It's just kind of bare bones. It's the same thing you would get, kind of like the console experience, I would assume, except you're running 60 frames a second. You can tweak some things like shadows and things like that, but really, they need to step up the graphical options for kind of us PC nerds who want the primo, the stuff we've paid for, things like that. Overall, I am digging it. Real quick, now that kind of 3 days early thing is not in the picture, the difference between the Deluxe Edition and the NWO Edition is simply preference. If you need skins for Scott Hall and Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash and Bischoff that all have NWO skins, then spend the extra $20. For me, I don't think it's worth it. I did get the Deluxe that comes with the DLC, which we're now finding out includes characters like Ronda Rousey, Rob Van Dam, Machine Gun Kelly for some stupid reason. But yeah. So it's all preference. The standard $60 game is going to get you where you need to go. It's the same game, you're just not going to have the DLC. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I plan on playing it more. Going to be streaming it here on the stream this week as well. Check us out. That's twitch.tv/nerditude. We'll be going for a couple days this week with it. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, and real quick, is Spiderman No Way Home has been bumped up a week early on its digital release. Was slated for March 22nd to go kind of everywhere. I'm assuming Voodoo, Apple, Amazon, all of the different sources. For whatever reason, Amazon has released it the March 14th and are releasing it on Apple TV March 15th. So it's got a week early release. Blu-ray still coming out April 12th. I'm one of these people, I have not seen this movie. I'm very excited to. I will be buying it on Apple TV this week to check it out. But yeah, if you were a huge fan of it and you kind of get your fingers on it, digital release has been moved up a week, coming out March 15th to you everywhere as far as I know. If not, places like Voodoo and things like that will still adhere to that March 22nd release. So at the minimum, you'll be able to get it next week if you're more looking at Voodoo, if you don't have Apple, things like that. But I wanted to mention that real quick. One other thing in kind of movie news is, and this is just, once again, I don't go to the theaters. I haven't gone to the theaters since way before pre-pandemic. So the VOD stuff for me is kind of a big deal. The Batman is under that Warner Brothers 45-day contract. So it will be out on HBO Max as of April 15th. So if you're somebody who's waiting for the theaters, you only have about a month left to wait. I am one of those people. Once again, 3 hours in the movie theater is a long time, too. It's a long movie. Looking forward to that. Just wanted to mention that because there has been some question, and I looked it up. It is 100% part of the 45-day contract they have going. So you'll see that and other big movies in the same thing. Also, I want to talk about it's not out there yet. They don't have an official delete or official release date for it. But Jackass will be coming to Paramount Plus. Scream is already out there. Watched it the other day. I did really dig it. If you have Paramount Plus, the new Scream's already out there. Jackass will be out there by the end of this month because I believe that is also, they too have the same 45-day deal, which at one point was a 90-day deal. I believe it was a 3-month deal before this, and this is kind of their bridging the gap between releasing new movies on Vudu and theaters simultaneously because there was all that kind of backlash for that. So that'll be something to look forward to as well in the movie news. Other than that, there's really not a ton that's come out. We're doing live streams on the Nerditude Movie Podcast on Twitch, on my Twitch channel. Got some of the newer stuff coming up, Ghostbusters, Candyman, things like that, so check that out as well. And yeah, that's really all I wanted to say about the movie stuff. There's not a ton coming up, but a couple really good ones hitting soon. Okay, and another thing that disappeared into the wild was House of the Dead Remaster or Remake for Nintendo Switch. It's the remake of the first title. It was announced months ago. I remember seeing footage for it, seeing articles about it, and then it disappeared. It was announced. I got excited for it. I talked about it. I was like, and then it was like, hey, you remember they were doing the House of the Dead remake, right? It's like, oh shit, yeah, we talked about it. When is it releasing? Well, we finally have an actual release date. End of March, it'll be out. You'll be able to get the physical in the beginning of April, and the digital will be on the eShop the end of March. I want to say, I think they were saying maybe that's probably the 22nd, along with what Spiderman was supposed to release. But if you are a fan of House of the Dead at all, I encourage you to check it out. It is a remake of the first one, I believe from the ground up. I'm excited for it. I think House of the Dead was one of those old school arcade games, just like Time Crisis and Revolution X or the Terminator 2 game that I loved. I hope they do a good job on it. I will be bringing you guys a review of it when it does release here on Nerd Talk. So that should be fun, but I want to just give everybody an update. It does exist. It is releasing the end of this month. Do check it out. Give it support, especially if it's good. So maybe they do more. You know, let's see what happens. Also, I just want to talk about another game that I've probably talked about before, but it's out on Gamepass now. Guardians of the Galaxy has released on Gamepass. If you held off because you weren't sure, if you held off because Avengers put a bad taste in your mouth, the only reason I'm talking about this game is because it was my game of the year last year. It's a brilliantly written game. The combat feels nice. The exploration feels nice. The dialogue between the characters, the chemistry that you see on screen and in the comic books is all there. It's done really well. You care about the characters. The story's engaging. The game is beautiful. I cannot recommend to play that game enough. And now that it's on Game Pass, if you've got Game Pass, either console or PC, check it out. I really, really implore you to give it a shot. It's an incredible game. Once again, my favorite game of last year, and I'm so happy to see it's on Game Pass. I'm actually streaming it right now on my stream because I love it so much and I want people to see it. So check it out, download it. Just so you know, it's a 75 gig file. I know, it's a big fucking install. I get it. Clear some room. You don't have to put it on the SSD. Install it, play it, love it. Hit me up. Tell me how much you liked it. I love it. Two final thoughts. First off, Dave & Buster's sucks. I went there with the wife this weekend. She had a little party for her coworkers and whatnot. And for one thing, it was crowded with children, which I guess I can't be too mad about, but it was, which was annoying. They took every arcade that did work that I wanted to do. They were on the Mario Kart, Cruisin' Blast. They're on the Walking Dead. There actually is a new House of the Dead arcade. They had it in Dave & Buster's. Wasn't working. You know what else wasn't working? The Halo game. Oh, they've got VR, by the way. Even though 4-year-olds were haunting it the entire damn time I was there, they have a VR thing. The only game they had showing, I know that, and I've seen Terminator VR on their website. They had the Darth Vader Lightsaber Chronicles for Oculus, which I already own. And it's like, I could take it being overcrowded and having to wait or whatnot, but none of these games do I want to play. They had a Tomb Raider first-person shooter with a gun con thing. It was like broken. The screen was all fucked up. The lighting wasn't right. And it's like, that's not the game's fault. That's Dave & Buster's fault for not taking care of it. For not having it properly lit. Like, I get it. It's not a strict arcade. But for people like me, you're not going to appeal. I live in Chicago, not too far from the biggest arcade in the country, where I could play real arcades instead of, and we didn't even get to eat. It was 2.5 hour wait. Apparently at 6 p.m. they go 21 and over, and one of our party was under 21, so we weren't even going to be able to sit there and eat because it was such a long wait. It was a terrible experience, and I don't love Dave & Buster's. I think you need to get less of the basketball hoop games, less of the bullshit money making. Here's a coin game. And get some real games in there. Because in my opinion, you're not appealing to real gamers. You're not appealing to people like me. And that's your problem. If you're doing well, good. Stay the way you're doing. But you're never going to appeal to real gamers with this shit. I'm sorry. It sucks. Final thought. Last thing I want to talk about. Dr. Disrespect. I'm a big fan. I was very sad to see Twitch fuck him over the way they did. Apparently it's over. He tweeted out an image, a single image of a business card. I'll show that to you right now. It's done. Neither party admitting guilt. Which to me means they wrote him a nice fat checkaroonie. My assumption? He didn't want to, he didn't have, it was a weird ban, whatever reason they used. I don't know if he wants that getting out either, because this sounds to me like a situation where both of them have been NDA'd, where they probably out of court settled it, and both have signed agreements to not disclose what really happened, which is weird. I'd like to know what happened. I think every gamer would like to know what happened, especially fans of his, especially people like me who got into the streaming because of Dr. Disrespect, because of his quality and his character and his surprising just kind of movement he kind of created. It was sad, and it was right under the rug was taken. I'm glad to see he's doing well on YouTube. I'm glad to see that this chapter is mostly behind him, and hopefully he keeps killing it on YouTube, keeps innovating. He's got his game studio coming up soon. Nothing but the best for him. I'm glad to see that it's, as of right now at least, seems to be all behind him, and good luck to the future with that. With that said, guys, this was just a little bit of stuff I want to talk about with you. Thank you for watching another episode of Nerd Talk. I will see you guys again soon with the next iteration. If you have any thoughts, any comments, any suggestions, let me know. Please do remember to like and subscribe. Also, check me out at twitch.tv/nerditude. I'm there streaming Tuesday through Friday and sometimes weekends. And we do double and triple streams as well. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.